That's the target. You work it, you work it, you work it, you work it, you stay up all night, you stay up weekends, you are polishing, you are refining. You refine yourself to the point that you come up to the point that where you are rare and unique. Want to know how to make more money at your workplace or even your business? It's very, very simple. This is what this video is all about. All right, let's jump in. To make more money at your workplace, the first thing that you have to do is that you have to increase your value. Your value proposition must be way up there. You have to increase your value. I've seen many people, especially people who've spent a little bit of time in the workplace. Let's say they've been there for 10 years, 5 years, right? And then let's say a newcomer comes in, a new employee comes in, and within, let's say, a year or two, they get promoted. And the person who's spent more time at the company, who has more tenure at the company, the person with the 10-year experience at the workplace, is bypassed. I've seen this happen over and over and over and over again. And what happens is that typically the person who's been there longer gets angry, or expresses displeasure in the sense that, why have you bypassed me? I've been loyal to you. I've been here longer. So why would you bypass me, right? And that's a very common theme for people who've stayed at organizations very long, for long periods of time. But I've seen a few things to know that most of the time promotion does not come by tenure. I know some organizations may do that, but it's very, very, very rare these days. Promotions typically come from adhering to or exceeding certain key performance metrics or key performance indicators, right? And so I'm not talking about you getting promoted or getting higher wages or higher salary based on the length of time you spent at an organization, but I'm actually zeroing in on value. So how do you increase your salary? It's by value. You have to increase your value. I couldn't emphasize that enough. And how do you increase your value? You increase your value basically by being unique. You have to be unique. And how do you become unique? You become unique by being rare. You being rare. If you are rare, a rare breed means that you are unique. And if you are unique, it enhances your value. And once your value is high, the organization or your customers have no choice but to increase their compensation to you. So let's talk about rarity. Whenever you show or you demonstrate that you are rare, your skill set is rare, your personal brand, your personal value is rare, what happens is that typically people come to you, organizations come to you, not the other way around. They come to you. So let's look at it from a point of view, extractive industries, right? So you have precious minerals like gold, diamond, platinum, silver, and the rest. And crude oil as well. These are precious minerals or precious metals. What happens? Organizations spend billions of dollars exploring for them to find them. And when they even locate where they are, they have to dig sometimes hundreds of miles under the ocean or probably dozens and dozens of miles under mountains to find them. So if you want to find gold, you dig and dig and dig and dig and dig until they find them. So if you are rare, people will come to find you. People will jump in to find you, right? I've always mentioned this. I've been a Sunday school teacher for quite a while. So and these kind of stories really ring a bell. Talking about this topic or this episode. So, for instance, in the story of David, David was a harp player. He was an instrumentalist. Apart from he killing Goliath, and that's the most popular story about David. But David was a shepherd boy, and then he played music. He played harp. And then at that time, the king, as most of you know, was King Saul. And King Saul was distressed, right? I would say probably depression or probably some kind of mental illness he was suffering from. But they noticed that any time the king was distressed and he called in and music was played, his level of agitation sort of simmered down. So what did they do? When Saul was agitated, who did they call? They went and called David. Why? Because David was a rare breed. He could play that instrument in a way that nobody else, none of his contemporaries could play that way. He was a rare breed. Rare breed always get the special invitation. They get a special invitation, right? The same, the story with the Joseph. I'm going on the theme of a Sunday school teacher, right? Blending with career development and business. It all works together. Joseph thrown in prison, right? But Joseph developed the ability to interpret dreams. And when the king of the time, was distressed, had a very terrible dream, right? And needed somebody to actually interpret the dream. And he was distressed, and just couldn't know what to do. Somebody mentioned the name of Joseph, because in the prison, Joseph had been interpreting dreams and perfecting that skill. He was perfecting that skill that any time he interpreted a dream, it came to pass 100%. So Joseph was called for. That's why rare breed are always searched for. So in your pursuit of a great career, you want to be the one that people come to search for. You want to be that rare breed, right? And how do you become rare breed? How do you all of a sudden become that rare, that gem, that golden gem that people want to want to seek out for you? First of all, you need to refine yourself. Refine who you are. Refine your talent. Refine your skill. You can't complete school in let's say you've completed college 5 years from now and you've never read any book in that area that you studied, or you've been employed for 10 years in a row in a specific function or specific department and has never refined. You've never ever even taken the time to refine yourself, right? And once you set on the journey of self-refinement, what you do is that you're going to have to work it. You're going to work it day and night, to polish your skill, to polish your giftings, your talent, to polish your ability to the point that now you become so bright that all the other contemporaries around you look dull. That's the target. You work it, you stay up all night, you stay up weekends, you are polishing, you are refining. You refine yourself to the point that you come up to the point that where you are rare and unique. In business terms, I would say find a way to carve out a niche for yourself. I remember my first ever professional career that I have at that time, working with my travel group PLC, which later morphed to become Thomas Cook Group, which I think is no more right now. It was a huge company. And at that time, I had spent a great deal of time, as an African, working in England. At that time, it was tough getting work experience. You can. My personal view at that time was that you could, as an African, you could get all the education that you want, but getting matching work experience was tough. So what happened? I pushed, tried everything that I could, probably send about between 500 to maybe 800 applications. And then finally, I got a temporary gig, right? It was a maternity cover that I got. And when I got this cover, I said, man, they were going to pay me a pittance, basically, pittance. I got in there and realized that, whoa, I had this opportunity. I'm going to make this opportunity count. So, I realized also that because of the number of years that I spent just studying with no experience, I didn't really have much to offer except my great attitude that I had and my willingness to learn. So I decided I'll carve out a niche for myself once I'm able to get my feet wet in what I was doing. So fast forward a few years down the road, as I was developing my career in finance and accounting, I decided that, okay, I really loved anything kind of analytical things really intrigued me, especially using software applications and stuff. So I zeroed in and I made sure that I was the best at what I did. So I zeroed in on spreadsheet manipulation. So I'll spend my weekends, I won't go anywhere. I'll be staying. At that time, we didn't even have all these online tuition platforms that are so prevalent these days. It wasn't like that. You're talking of 2003, 2004, right? And it was like everything that you had to either go to the library or order maybe a book or something on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles to read. So I did that. So in the weekends, and I'm hitting it. In evenings, I'm doing that. And I was even a family man at that time, but it's like, wow, I had to. And I loved it. And I was pushing. Very soon, I became the go-to person in anything spreadsheet because I mastered it from A to Z. I mean, to the best of my ability. Like, they covered all the basic stuff, the intermediary stuff. Then I went to advanced stuff like, Visual Basic Programming. Those of you who are probably into data analytics and kind of things, writing my own macros to automate stuff in Excel and things, to the point that I was indispensable at the office. Completely indispensable. I mastered my trade to the point that I was a rare gem. I even went on and wrote a book, 101 Excel tricks and shortcuts, for effective, effective financial accountants and that kind of thing. I wrote that kind of manual and I gave it to all my work colleagues, and that my brand value in the workplace just exploded. Why? Because I became that rare gem, right? So basically, you will not, and I will say this, you will not be a gem, you will not be rare if you spend all your time watching TV all day, watching all these soap operas and spending all your time in sporting activity. I mean, not sporting activity, but watching sports all the time. Once in a while is okay, but these guys who are making tons and tons and tons of money, $1 million a year, a couple of $1 million a year, are only enjoying it with their family, honestly. I know you love your soccer, I know you love your football, it's great, but that shouldn't be the focus of your time. If you want to be that rare commodity at what you do, whether it's your business or the workplace, you have to sit down, you have to master it, you have to work it and work it and work it, right? So just to give you a litmus test, this happened to me, right? My test to you is, if you want to test how rare you are at wherever you work or even with your customers, tell your company that you are resigning next week Monday, wherever the day is. Tell them that you are resigning next week Monday and see what they say. What they say will tell you whether you are rare or you are just an average Joe. If the moment you tell them that, oh, I'm resigning, and you see, you turn around or you go around and you see that, oh, nothing happened here. Some of them are even giggling and they are happy that you are leaving. It means that they don't want you there. It means that you are a very average person, probably below average, unfortunately. But if you tell them you are resigning and they tell you, oh, hold on, wait a minute, we will double your salary to stay. At that point, it means you are rare. It happened to me, right? It happened to me. I remember at that time I was working for Broadlane in Dallas, Texas. It's a company called Broadlane Inc. Later got acquired by the Medicines Group, right? And at that point, I had just probably a year or so. I'd just been in the company for a year, and my direct report, my manager, had moved to another firm at that point in time. And when he left, I didn't have an immediate manager for probably about 2-3 months, and I proved myself. So later on, I got a new manager and everything. And I had mastered my department so much that I had to train my manager on the work that I did. My manager she didn't know, in all humility though, she didn't know what the work was about. I had to actually train her for her to manage me, which is an irony, but it happens. So after a while, my manager, my previous manager who had left to a different organization, called me that, hey, Isaac, well, I have a great opportunity here for you with my new company. I want you to come join me. So basically, he was poaching me. So when he mentioned all he was doing and the projects they were working on and the perks and everything, I said, wow, I would be a fool not to join you. So I agreed to join him. So I tendered in my resignation. And at the time that I tendered in my resignation, the VP, the vice president of my division, had traveled. He was on vacation, I think somewhere in Latin America. So at that time, we only had in America is 2 weeks notice. So I gave him my 2 weeks notice, and I was just trying to do things here and there to hand over my work. So I was there 2 days after I had sent in my notice. I was there when I received a call from my vice president out of his vacation, calling me that, hey, Isaac, can you wait till I come back from vacation? I said, so I asked him when he was going to come, and I noticed that by the time that he would come, it would be so he was going to come in on a Monday. No, he was going to come in on a Wednesday, rather. And I was supposed to start my new job on a Monday. So it was tough. I wouldn't want to call my new company that's hiring me with all these new big perks and that kind of thing and tell them that, look, I'm not starting. You know, it doesn't smack well, right? Basically. So I told him that I think you'll be late here, but anything we can discuss. So he said, okay, he'll call me back. So he didn't call back until the next day. And he called back and said, look, Isaac, I really want to keep you in the department if I can. I've had a lot of people say good things about you, about your skill, about your ability. I would hate to lose you. And remember, he was not my direct boss. He was the vice president of my division. So around lunchtime, we went to the cafeteria to eat, me and a couple of friends. And, once we entered into the cafeteria, we had then he was the chief operating officer and the chief information officer. He was a very highly revered personality. He had such a commanding presence that you dare not mess around when he's around. So he came to the cafeteria and he said, which among you standing here is Isaac? So I raised my hand. Man, say, hey, Isaac, maybe you're in trouble. I said, man, if I'm in trouble, I don't think I've done anything that merits trouble. But even if I had done, I'm on my way out anyway. that was my respite. So, to cut a long story short, the COO, Chief Operating Officer, and Chief Information Officer at that time called me into his office and sweetened the deal for me. I literally was like, please don't go. And I was kind of a junior analyst. I would say I had three direct reports at that time. You know, I was a lead business analyst managing a team of 3 people. I didn't see myself as a big gun. I was just a small potato in the grand scheme of things. But my work ethic and the things that I do has gone so way up the chain that me deciding to move prompted the COO to act. And this is a company at that time that had an employee base of close to 1,000 people. It's not like 15 people in an organization. So it's about 980 or so employees in Dallas, Texas. An African, right? So that tells you that if you place a demand on yourself, that gold in you will come out. And now the COO will come looking for you, not the other way around. You get the point. So you to command what you command, and I probably have shared it, you know, in terms of compensation, They said, okay, what can we do to help you stay? I wasn't really into the money thing. Money was good and everything, but I was very transparent with them. Say, look, I'm going here. This is what they are offering me. If you're going to match what they are going to offer me, I would go to them, because what I'm looking for is not them. It's worth more than the money. I'm looking for new experience. I'm looking for new challenge and that kind of thing. So they say, oh, okay. This is what we'll do. We will not just match it. We'll add something more to that, right? So they added, I think, a 30% premium to that. But I said, okay, it's not about the money. If it's money, I will leave. But it's okay. This is what I want. Apart from the money, I want you, since you are the COO who is stopping me from leaving that organization, or is stopping me from going. The only thing that will make me stay on top of the financial incentive and everything is if you agree to mentor me 1 hour every month. So I come to your book an appointment, schedule with your secretary, your PA. Once in a month, I come sit face to face with you, and then you mentor me. If you agree to that, then I'll stay. And he agreed. Guess what? I benefited big time. I got the mentoring that I needed. So I'm telling you this. How can you even get that? You get that by becoming rare. You get that by niching down. If you're a nurse, instead of just being a nurse that everybody, generally speaking, a nurse or a teacher, why don't you spend time, push in, specialize, get into an area? Maybe you are a nurse. You're a nurse. Let's say for what do you call it? Children with, unfortunately, cancer. So that's your area. You are pediatric oncology nurse. You will be rare. If you are rare, they will come looking for you. A teacher. Let's say, why don't you become, instead of just being a plain mathematics teacher, why don't you become a teacher who teaches special needs children mathematics? That's your focus. You teach mathematics, but your focus is rare, special needs kids. You are rare, and you specialize, you push, you are the best in that area. You will shine amongst the many, and they will come looking for you. All right, wonderful. It's been wonderful sharing this. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe to my channel so that anytime I come up with nice, juicy content like this, you'll be amongst the first to get access to, or actually to be notified about my new content. And then I have other videos here on this screen that I want you to watch now. It will be of huge benefit to you. All right, have a great time, and then we'll meet again. Thank you.